The Tommy Campbell Show. I don't know what your weekend plans are, but it's safe to say you're not buying a ticket to see Melania. A film about the most transparent transition in history is also the only movie that journalists weren't allowed to see this weekend. They spent $35 million on marketing a movie while preventing anyone with a laptop and a press pass from actually watching it. I love that everyone's getting in on the mockery. Another world exclusive happened today in our famous Four Seasons Total Landscaping. We gathered together all the people who have gone to see the Melania movie. Here's a photo to prove it. I wouldn't see that film if they gave me free popcorn, $50, and a dark seat next to Lauren Boebert. Based on the trailer alone, I give this film a solid 5 dripping Giulianis on the fail scale. Despite being dumped into 1,500 theaters worldwide, the reality is just humiliating. In London, the CEO of Vue Cinemas admitted the sales were soft, with some screenings selling 1 ticket. I had fun looking at massive theaters, very popular ones like this AMC 25 in Times Square, with only a few tickets sold. And I even took a peek at my 2 local cinemas in London where I used to live, where things didn't look so hot, despite Trump posting, "Melania the movie is a must-watch. Get your tickets today. Selling out fast." Veteran entertainment journalist Stephen Gaydos of Variety described the film's theatrical presence as vaporizing instantly like spit on a griddle. Spit on a griddle is also the seasoning used when ICE agents eat in a Mexican restaurant. But the film that literally is a bribe is bribing people to see it. To mask the disaster, agencies in Boston and San Francisco have been caught posting Craigslist ads offering background audience members $50 to $75 cash plus a free ticket to occupy a seat for 100 minutes. Now, I've updated the movie posters for accuracy. Nobody's seen movie. All seats available. Leave the money on the nightstand. 20 seconds with Tiny Mushroom. Who gives a F about Christmas stuff? Actual quote by me. Let's go hamburgers. I scam big fortune, so prenup no matter. Bribery, dumpster fire documentary dosh. Second to Stephanie. Stormy Daniels has more popular films. She does. Oh, she does. So does Kevin Sorbo. Fluent in 6 languages. They kind of speak too. Frequent flyer. Our Life with Jeffrey Epstein. Once upon a time in Slovenia. That's how Trump says it. From Sticky Pages model to Diaper Dawn's third bride. Let me know your favorite in the comments. Subscribe. Now, there is a lot you don't know about what went into getting this film made. Amazon MGM didn't just buy the movie, they essentially handed the First Lady a $28 million talent fee as part of a $40 million acquisition. When you add the $35 million marketing budget, which included a takeover of the Las Vegas Sphere and all those ads ruining the fun of the NFL playoffs, go Seahawks, the total burn reaches $75 million. Just for some context, the industry standard for a top-tier documentary buy like RBG is around $2 million, but Amazon is facing a massive DOJ antitrust trial scheduled for late 2026. While the Biden administration aimed to dismantle the company, Bezos put on the charm offensive by paying Melania like superhero money. This is more than you get for carrying a global franchise. Zendaya and Margot Robbie are doing blockbusters for 10 to 12 million. Jennifer Lawrence's biggest payday was 20, still 8 under what Bezos valued the First Lady's screen time. And for those not aware, because most just think of packages being delivered when it comes to Amazon, but AWS, Amazon Web Services, is the company's real money maker, currently securing billions in federal Cloud One contracts, including a $581 million Air Force win this week. So $75 million to him is barely a parking ticket. And the decision to hire Brett Ratner as director wasn't the result of a talent search. Ratner was raised as a surrogate son of Alvin Malnick. Malnick isn't just a lawyer, he's the legendary figure once named as the heir apparent to Meyer Lansky, the mob's accountant. Ratner grew up in Malnick's house and the family was close with Trump's. Here they are at a film premiere with him years back. Now he's the president's personal videographer.
He would like to have a country that all of the people can walk down the street and not to be harassed or murdered or women raped. I think it's very important. And what happened a few years ago, so many criminals came over the border.
Nobody wants bad people in their community. But as we all know, shooting nurses in the back isn't exactly cleaning up the streets. And it's just bonkers for Melania to sit there going on about this subject when her husband has been accused of such crimes multiple times and was found guilty. And to add that, she's promoting her film that was directed by someone that has not made one in over 10 years. Because he's blacklisted in Hollywood, because he faced sexual misconduct allegations from 6 women, including Elliot Page, Olivia Munn, and Natasha Henstridge. Ratner is also in the Epstein files, mentioned frequently, and shows up in a photo hugging Epstein associate Jean-Luc Brunet. The production itself was so toxic that 2/3 of the New York crew reportedly asked to have their names removed from the credits. Now, you can erase your name and take a paycheck, but the world saw the who's who that attended the private screening that had to be held in a makeshift cinema because Trump literally demolished the East Wing. The guest list included Tim Apple Cook in the biggest Steve Jobs would never do this moment. Cook suffered through that film knowing he took Apple from think different to think about the tariffs. Also on the list, convicted rapist Mike Tyson, J.D. Vance's dream girl Erica Kirk, Tony Robbins, and Saudi royalty. Inside, glove waiters served popcorn in black and white Melania branded buckets that they didn't want to smudge. They had to keep clean, which is ironic because this movie is all about a payoff. And it was only this week that Trump showed up like this. I called it a while back regarding his over-aspirin hand blotches. I said, maybe it's time to keep the golf glove on. Go a bit Michael Jackson. I mean, it wouldn't be the only thing you two have in common. Here he is, rocking the glove.
It's very important. You need to be there for a child nonstop, especially when they need you, especially at that age that Baron is. He's an incredible young man. We are very proud of him. 2nd year in Stern School of Business, and he loves it. And you know, this time it's very different because he's 19 years old. And first time he was 10 years old. He understands politics. He gives advice to his father. We talk about it, so very different.
He's 19. Like at 19, I'd already had jobs at FedEx, managed kitchens, bartended, worked on film sets, moved out of the home I grew up in. My parents weren't involved with every aspect of my life. I'm the youngest. They were happy I was independent. And I'd like to know what advice he gives his father, the president. Is she talking about the stuff that Trump goes on about, like how Barron shows him how to turn on a laptop? Or is this ceiling scraper weighing in on national security and trade? Mental.
And Mr. President, what do you say to those that are critical of the fact that Amazon paid $40 million to acquire the rights of this movie?
Well, I think they'd have to go and ask President Obama, who got paid a lot of money and hasn't done anything. So I think they probably have to go because if you take a look at others, they've been paid a lot of money. But this is somebody, Melania, who really produced it. She's done a great thing. This is a very important piece of work.
Obama spent years and hundreds of pages reflecting on the weight of the free world. Trump spent a few minutes signing his name on the cover of a King James Bible and called it a literary achievement. One's a contribution to the Library of Congress. The other is the kind of gift you give your cousin wife at an Applebee's on Valentine's Day. Barack and Michelle signed with Penguin Random House in February 2017, only after they safely exited the White House and moved into private life. They weren't selling influence, they were selling a phenomenon. Michelle's Becoming moved 725 copies on its first day and has since surpassed 14 million worldwide, while Barack's A Promised Land sold 3.3 million units in its first month. People bought these because they were hungry for the words. Donald Trump has released a Bible he didn't write, a photo book he didn't caption, and a documentary his wife got paid $28 million for to play in empty theaters. He isn't an author, he's an artist, he's a licensing agreement with a spray tan. To maintain the illusion of selling big, the RNC uses a strategy known as the dagger buy. On the New York Times bestseller list, this symbol appears next to titles that have been boosted by institutional bulk orders. Trump's $99 photo book and the God Bless the USA Bible are currently being propped up by the RNC and Turning Point USA. Recent FEC filings show the RNC spent $100,000 in a single week on donor mementos, which is code for buying thousands of copies of Trump's books to give away in exchange for small donor donations. This mirrors the 2019 rollout for Don Jr.'s Triggered, where the RNC spent $94,800 on a bulk order from Books A Million to force it to #1. While they can't buy digital tickets as easy, the Craigslist seat filler angle are the theatrical equivalent. They aren't trying to make money, they just want to have photographs of full theaters to use in Trump's Truth Social posts.
Canada is not doing well. They're doing very poorly. And you can't look at China as the answer. I know China very well. I know President Xi's a friend of mine. I know him very well. But that's a big hurdle to go over when you get Canada. The first thing they're going to do is say you're not allowed to play ice hockey anymore. That's not good. Canada's not going to like that.
Everyone's working with China because you won't work with everyone else. And when someone says they're going to a hockey game, you don't think, oh yeah, field or ice? Come on, ice hockey. But since we're talking show business in Canada and hockey, let's get into something that's actually successful and a leader continuing to make waves. Prime Minister Mark Carney attended an event to promote Canada's film and television industries, where he had a pretty funny moment on the red carpet with one of the stars of heated Rivalry, Hudson Williams.
Okay, now a little bit of a hug. I love that. Look at me, the leg right there. Look at you. What's the leg thing? Oh, the leg thing. Right there. This guy's. Oh, jeez.
Oh, I just love it. He's wrapped in the fleece, and hilarious that the photographer suggested a hug, and Carney's so humorous and confident that he's fine with things. He actually suggested, let's do the leg thing, let's do the lift, that's in all the promotional material. Very funny.
We've heard how studios south of the border were interested in Jacob's vision, but wanted to, shall we say, tone it down. Yep, what? What? Exactly. What's the point of that? So Jacob did the right thing. He did the smart thing. He came home to Canada. He came home. He came home to a nation that celebrates what makes us different. He came home to a country that values teamwork over going it alone. Jacob walked away from a bigger budget, a bigger platform, bigger promotional reach. He came for a studio that let him tell his story the way he imagined.
It's just fantastic that he manages to get the little teamwork comment in there. It was only been a week since his speech at Davos. Now, for those in the dark, this show is about a romantic relationship between two gay professional hockey players. I know what you're thinking. Field or ice? Ice. Creator Jacob Tierney originally pitched Heated Rivalry to a major U.S. streamer, widely rumored to be the same one, currently spending $75 million on a Melania selfie. The American executives were reportedly terrified of the source material's intensity. They want the show to be a slow burn and less intimate. Tone it down. HBO Max, which originally passed or gave those notes, saw the massive viral numbers and critical 98% Rotten Tomatoes score and ended up buying the distribution rights anyway. They're now streaming the exact raunchy Canadian version they were too afraid to make.
On behalf of Canada's new government, look, I'm a politician. I'm not above taking credit for the Canadian funding that helped you share this story with the world. I might not have been here when the decision was made, but I'm here now. So, yeah, I greenlit this thing. I stood up to the Americans. I made this thing made. I and millions, hundreds of millions of others are inspired, truly inspired by your talents, your values, and your determination in conceiving this story, creating it, and telling it so well.
I just love what he's doing here. It's very, very funny. He's noting that the show is hugely popular and jokes about taking credit for it. As you know, Trump and others love to take credit for things from the previous administration, with many hyping the very things they voted against.
Existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easier to buy. We're going to get interest rates down. But I want to protect the people that for the first time in their lives feel good about themselves. They feel like that they're wealthy people. And I want them to understand it. You know, there's so much talk about, oh, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people that own their homes. And they can be assured that's what's going to happen.
He's pitching a world where houses stay expensive, but magically become easier to buy. That's like saying steak is going to be $200, but don't worry, we're going to make hunger cheaper. Now look, lower interest rates can help buyers month to month. I mean, that part is real, but lower rates also mean more people can suddenly qualify for mortgages, which usually means more buyers chasing the same houses, which usually pushes prices right back up. So congratulations, you saved $200 a month and you paid $120,000 more for the house. Elon Musk is discontinuing 2 of his flagship cars to make room for production of his Optimus robot that he says will be amazing for protecting and taking care of your elderly parents. Okay, I gotta say, we spent 10 minutes this week trying to get Grandma to turn the FaceTime camera around, and Space Karen thinks she'll be able to, like, work a robot, make sure it's charged and the software's updated. Dude tried to save a few bucks by emitting rain sensors for the wiper in his cars and wants us to trust this thing delivering hot tea to seniors in bed and getting their meds straight. Maybe you're just jealous of Kristi Noem's nice hair buddy. I'm grateful that the overwhelming majority of comments on the show come from intelligent humorists and interesting people, and the responses like this are just good for a laugh. I mean, out of the gate, you break up, maybe incorrectly spell the name of the person you're trying to compare me to, and I'm the first to admit I miss hair. I miss hair every day. I have hair dreams, but I don't look at someone, you know, with a Bon Jovi wig pointing a gun at the barrel of a gun next to someone's head and think, I wish I had that. MAGA tears. Everyone here is cared of Fox News because they're too big of babies to handle what is going on in the world now. The same Fox News that had Melania on 3 times this week to promote the Trump bribery First Lady vanity project nobody sane wants to see while people are being separated by their families and shot in the street. Everyone here is not cared of Fox News or scared of. I think that's what you're going for. But the truth is the stupid is compounding thanks to people like you that believe everything from a network that lost $787 million for lying to their viewers. You still believe everything they're telling you. MAGA tears. I wouldn't see that movie if they gave me free popcorn, $50, and a dark seat next to Lauren Boebert. That's not butter. Jacob Tierney originally pitched heated rivalry. I have trouble with ours. This is so hard. Vaporizing instantly like spit on a griddle. Spit on a griddle is also what the seasoning... It's funny because it's true. I can't get to it. I'll try it again.
The Tommy Campbell Show is the best political comedy show on YouTube. And I hope you subscribe.